Hey everyone, and welcome to 10 Talks. I am your host, Kyle Garza.
Your co-host, Don Trimble.
And I'm your co-host, Nick Busta.
Today we're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the subject of our hobbies. The good old things that we do in the off-hour, leisurely times when we're not just grinding away in the school world, but just taking it easy, relaxing all cool.
Shooting some b-ball outside our school?
No, that's not me. I'm too white for that. I'm painfully too white for that. I'm no Larry Bird, sir.
Or Will Smith, whatever. So
yeah, that too. Honestly, guys, my hobbies have changed so much in the last 3 months, and not because of quarantine. This is what's funny about this.
Interesting.
Because right before, I think this was February. Yeah, this was in February before everything hit the fan. My wife and I bought our first home.
That's
and moved in. And we're getting settled, and then it was everybody stay in your home. And as a result, all my hobbies now are my home. Or they're components of what people jokingly call home ownership. Just the things that normally would be a headache, but I'm weirdly finding myself in this bizarre dad mode of I enjoy this stuff. I'm not exaggerating. I love yard work now. I love weeding. And it's like the weirdest, most spiritual experience, getting in the back with a trowel in hand and just uprooting things, having this weird dialogue with God himself of what do I need to uproot in my life? What is going on here?
Whoa.
Stuff like that going on. Taking out these stupid century plants that are in our back. Do you know what century plants are?
Yeah, no, tell me.
They're a direct result of the fall. I swear to you. Their root system is the devil.
Okay.
Anyway, we hunk those guys out with shovels, and eventually.
Hold on. Is that a weird grass? What is the grass thing that
I know what you're talking about. That's kikuya, and that's the grass that nobody likes.
That's not in Iowa.
It's not that. It's not that. It's it's like a desert plant. If you went through the drive-through and In-N-Out, you would see century plants. They look like desert plants with these green, sort of nice-looking leaves that kind of go out in this cool kind of pattern. But to get them out is absolutely awful. So that's been a weirdly enjoyable thing. House projects are now my favorite. We redid a bathroom, with just painting and stuff like this. We're doing the guest bathroom in the same way. So because we live with my brother and sister-in-law, so there's 4 of us doing project stuff basically.
Oh, okay.
So it makes everything a whole lot easier. And splitting up all that work it's honestly really fun. I picked up barbecuing now.
Yes,
because we finally got our first barbecue that is changing my life. I'm on YouTube every time I cook something new, watching 4 or 5 different videos, trying to figure out what's the best way to make this and that. That's life changing. And I'm going long.
I know that.
What's that?
Is it so charcoal, gas, or pellet?
Okay, so I grew up on charcoal. The true American way.
Heck yes.
We lived at our last apartment complex, the poolside, community ones were all gas. I kind of got used to the ease of use of that, just the fire it up and it's good to go kind of thing. So I ended up getting a gas one, but it's one that has a, what do you call it, a smoke box? It's that thing that you put chips in it. And, it flavors stuff. I haven't used it yet. I just know it's a cool thing. But this is the last thing I was going to say. I started getting Mackenzie into playing computer games.
Really?
Whoa.
Yes. My marriage is complete. My life is done. There's nothing else for me here, Lord. Just take me up now. So
that may be talking in of itself, but what kind, like you said, what kind of games?
Okay, so she has literally done nothing. The stuff that she remembers playing as a kid were
Oregon Trail.
No, not even that kind of thing. What's the girl investigator book series that everybody reads when they're young?
Oh shoot!
You know what I'm talking about?
There was Harriet the Spy. There was
No.
Wait, why do you know these?
That's the most common one.
Right.
Don, you gotta know this too, dude.
Are you kidding me?
It's the English teacher. Come on, man.
That doesn't mean I read kids' books like that.
Well, you gotta start them somewhere.
What was her name, dude? I can't
It'll
remember her
come to me
name.
as soon as we're done with this episode.
Yeah, it'll come back to us, I'm sure.
Yep.
Anyway, it was the standard mystery, like there's a secret passageway under the stairs kind of garbage. So it was one of those like choose your own adventure, like click around and like find the hidden key kind of jazz, right? So I found this game series on Steam that my brother-in-law recommended to us called The Room, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's an escape room basically, but clicking around trying to like solve puzzles and jazz like this. And it's just incredibly fun. I'm starting around that to get some like basics of game mechanics down, and then we're gonna move on, I think, to Portal, because it's also puzzly.
Yeah.
So it gets you introduced to like the WASD function, which you need to get used to as well. So yeah, those are my current hobbies. Sorry for going so long.
Very cool. Yeah, how about you, Mom? What are you into?
Well, I mean, I thought you were going to take it away right in the middle of that, because I called you yesterday and your wife was playing someone. I'm assuming the Missouri conversation we just had in the last talk. Is that the same people?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was, yeah, she was playing a board game with Kaylee. Yeah, in Missouri.
Electronically?
So they used FaceTime, and then they both had a Monopoly board game, and so they just like okay, move my piece over here, just what I rolled, and they
so you just mirror what the other person's doing.
Thank you, Kyle. Like I called, he said it so nonchalantly. Like he looks up, he just pans over and he's like, "Oh yeah, there she is over there." He's like playing a board game. He's like, "Yes, play someone for that's what I'm doing. Just walking around my backyard." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing now too."
Yeah, I've always thought of that as an idea. I didn't know anybody ever actually pulled it off. Well done.
It's impressive.
My wife, she's organized like that. She can get it done.
Nice.
No.
But hobbies.
Yeah, who do you want to go?
No, so I can hop. I guess
Yeah,
as an art teacher, I think I'm not allowed to have any other hobbies, right? Except for making art. This is a very thing. Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I think I've always had kind of an interesting background in with art. My dad was a 3D teacher, but I was bound and determined. I'm like, I'm going to be a painter, and I thought I was going to be a famous one. And like I was like, I'm going to be a big deal painter. And coming up, say what?
For anything, you're a big deal to me.
Aww.
That's all I needed.
Big deal right here.
Ice complete here too. That's all I need. So, I mean, like I had gotten into grad schools for it too, and it's some kind of difficult ones to get into. So like that was like really going to be a trajectory for me until like God was like, whoop, like you're going to teach right now at this high school in a weird way. So it really has become something kind of odd for me being a teacher, and you'll hear this talked about oftentimes because if you're in just like a certain teaching realm, it's almost expected that you're kind of this professional and you go on and do these things as well, right?
Yeah.
And while teaching, and we all know, man, oh my gosh, dude, we were all slammed way before quarantine happened, and now we're just
where do you find time for that?
It's insane. So I don't know. I've always kept up. I used to paint big, and I had some really cool moments in my life where I would sell these paintings, and they would really mean something to someone. And it was way more than just what it looked like, And that's what I was always going for. And I realized, well, like I have to wait a long time to find somebody who has the money for it because I'm painting big, and I don't sell as many. It takes me a long time to do it. So I got to the point to where I was painting small about what I really wanted to think about, right? And what I really wanted to then communicate with other people. And I would kind of sell some just like really cheap, like posters or something you'd go to, like an art festival. And I'd go to art festivals in Sioux City, Iowa, and around. So that was super fun. I love that. But I do ceramics, right? I do a lot of different.
Out here?
So out here, man, ever since we got to California, right? I'm not even in my second full year here. Like this is, I don't know. I've done a little bit, right? But my real love even behind it all has always been just the concept. So it's bad. Anytime I read a book, I like reading. But unless it's like a real, like weird, I'm just going to grab like spiritual book of some sort. This is a really good Poet's Bible that I really like. Or something that, oh, dude, I'm going to dig into this.
Oh, man.
Okay, man. Good luck.
I love Tolstoy. Can't even describe it. I love him. And it's because it's spiritual and what? It's art theory. Like I won't read a book unless it's one of those things,
Wait,
you know?
Are you saying this like inspires you to create something?
So I don't know. It's both. So I guess you could say I'll end it with this, and this has become really pushed back on me because it was always a big thing for me to do again. But I was having. You guys know what Moleskines are?
Yeah.
There's little.
The little
they're
girls.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I would always have one in my back pocket, right? Because I believe an idea or concept can come to you at any moment, and they might not just be from you, right?
Yeah, that's how inspiration works.
Maybe inspiration is coming from somewhere else. The idea of a muse. This is why we have museums to be in awe. Yeah, of other people's inspiration, to be just dumbfounded. Like, how could they have that inspiration and then made that from being that passionate about that thing? That's what a museum is, right? To contemplate that. And I keep it in my back pocket at all times, and I believe something could come. So I write stuff down really quick that freak me out, right? Or I sketch something out. That's
very cool.
And
nice.
My kids, you gotta
of course,
dude. Yeah. I just scooted down on my brand new Razor scooter with Tucker. I hope they have adult ones. I need to find one because
yes, they do.
Tucker like natural. He's like, yeah, this is made for me. This is my size, and I'm just like going down Newberry Park to the, and I'm like, it's so low.
A tiny little thing, yeah. I mean, at one point, you have to realize like it just becomes a Vespa or something like that. Like, what else is there?
I'm so proud of that thing, dude. Going to just like the grocery store and walking in and grabbing the most random stuff is like the most fun thing ever. And Tucker's like, yeah, we rule the hood. Like he feels it too. Yeah, you can tell.
Good for him. Good for you.
Awesome. Love it.
That's terrific.
What else you got, Busta?
Yeah, what's a Busta?
Great question. I got a few. So I'll just kind of spit them out. So one thing is I love riding bicycles. I love the idea, the concept of a bicycle. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I've done 2 Ironman triathlons. That was former life, so to speak.
No, thank you. Wow.
And back in 2011, it's a great question. Back in 2011, I rode my bicycle across the country from the Golden Gate Bridge to Rockefeller Center. And
no.
What?
Yeah,
wait.
There was a purpose to it. So I'm sorry.
When was this?
This was 2011.
Why?
During the summer, to raise money for the Children's Heart Foundation.
That's fine. So, that's allowed. You can do that.
Oh, thank you. And so it was a fantastic adventure. Definitely a once in a lifetime experience because I can't imagine doing that again. But yeah, I just love bicycles, and so I love.
My gosh, how many flat tires you get going from coast to coast?
Dude, for real.
Oh, thank you very much. But yeah, it was awesome. So I ride bicycles, when I can. During the school year, I really should be riding a lot more, but I just don't make the time, which is sad.
I literally never had that thought in my life. Like that sentence is never floated.
You think about it; it's your first form of freedom. Well, I mean, think about the freedom you get when you're on a bicycle, and think about like John with your son. Like on the Razor scooter, I'm like this. Like I can go so fast on this. I can anywhere. When they take those training wheels off, man, you're like, I can go anywhere. Like that feeling doesn't really go away when you're on a bike.
Okay. So you have your Hercules, I can go the distance moment. That's
there you go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, go the distance. Yeah.
You live in one of the coolest places for both road and off-road biking in the world.
Trails and stuff like that.
It's true. This is true. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one thing that, and Jay and I love to do it. Like, for example, we have a recumbent tandem bicycle. So it's a tandem. So it's, 2 people.
Another tandem. What's recumbent?
Recumbent is when, you don't have the typical bike seat. It's an actual, chair. It's low, and it has a backrest, and it has, an actual seat. And so, Jay, because, one of the side effects of her heart surgeries is that it hurts her back. She has back problems. Yeah. So a typical bike seat will it really hurts her. So having a recumbent, it lets us be able to go for a longer period of time together, and we can just have a conversation on this bike, and it's so much fun.
Maybe I should get one of those. That sounds wonderful. Because I guess one of the primary things I've always not liked about biking is just how incredibly uncomfortable every seat I've ever sat on is.
I will not do this if I see you guys cruising, but I just have to say this right now. don't you guys just giggle so much when you see someone though? Like always, like you like pull up and somebody's like sitting there and they're like, I don't know why. There's no words. Like I just look over and I'm like,
no, wait, you're not talking to wait.
So bad.
Wait, is Don suggesting the weird bike one that like you're actually lying down back in and your legs are up? Or what do you mean?
It's like that. That's a recumbent, but there's different like angles. So ours is like, I'll show you a picture later, but essentially it looks like no, it's chill.
Because the way you described it as it sounded cool, and then when Don gave that illustration,
and he just ruined it. Is what he's trying to say. Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Look ridiculous.
You look cool doing anything. It's just like me. I laugh at things I can't stop at the worst times too. Like they'll hear me. My window's down, and I'm like.
Yeah, I would be in the same boat, dude. I don't understand that one.
You're killing me. On a side note though, another thing that we've been as a hobby recently is in the fall we purchased a 1981 RV. Yeah, and so it needs some work. It's in a lot better shape than we actually thought it was, but right now we're working on restoring it. And the hope is that by middle of summer we can take it on a small road trip to kind of stretch its legs and see how everything turned out. So
you want to go to Iowa?
Funny you should mention that. Actually,
small did you not understand?
The grand adventure, the big plan is the bike ride that I told you guys about. We want to redo it, but with the RV instead of on a bike.
Nice.
So, we did go through Iowa. So, yeah. So,
Ragbri is one of the most well-known bike races, and they tip right the wheel in the Missouri River and then the Mississippi.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. So that's a big deal. And that's one heck of a race. So I won't race it, but we'll go. Yeah.
Oh, man, I do not understand you guys. I don't think I've ever done the RV thing. I've never done the biking thing.
It's just different. You know what I mean? Like it's just cool. So
I you know what it is? I don't associate hard labor as like recreation is what it is.
But think about like how often we spend obviously teaching is a very demanding job because we're standing and moving on the room, interacting with kids. But then we spend a lot of time sitting, reading. And I love reading. Like, that's another hobby. I love reading books and I love spending time with the Lord in the Word.
Sure.
But just to do something like where it's physical, you still got to think, but it's physical.
Sure.
And see, I would fully say, even just from you saying that, and I know this, putting myself in the worst, most difficult, weird situation sounds like the best thing ever. Dude, it's your escape room that you were just talking about, virtually maybe too, right?
Sure.
Like, why do you lock yourself in a room? That sounds terrible. Actually, people pay for this.
Yeah.
We do. We just that's another hobby.
It's really expensive. It's like ridiculous.
Worth it though.
I've paintballed. That's like the nearest like.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Physical exertion I'll usually get.
Let's go, guys. We're going. We're doing
I'm
that.
on. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. We still can. The place that I go to in Santa Paula texted me. It complies with all of the quarantine standards. Like,
of course. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world.
You're distanced. Everyone's wearing a mask. Like everything about it is like COVID-19 was designed for paintballing.
We are filming a 10 Talks paintball edition.
Oh yes.
Let's do it. All right.
Grew up paintballing, but my parents wouldn't pay for the gun. All my friends had the best gun. I would run around with the pump gun, like the $20 you get.
That's awesome.
But you know the pride that you felt when you got someone?
Oh, yeah.
Because it was extra difficult, sure. All right, well, that's going to be the next 10 Talk for sure. But until next time, we'll say once again, we love you guys. We'll see you soon paintballing for 10 Talks.
Yo.
Bye, guys.